It's rare to find a game that excels in the pillars of mechanics, storytelling, and art as consistently as Shadow Tactics: Blades of the Shogun. It has its share of blemishes, most prominent of which being camera controls that made me want to flip an entire hibachi table, but its needle-sharp stealth systems, cast of memorable characters with diverse abilities and personalities, and an uncommonly grounded saga set in a stylized feudal Japan left me with a sense of true accomplishment and a role in a well-told story.
Stay out of sight. No noise.
Everyone, gather!
Move like water.
Each of Shadow Tactics' 5 characters has a particular set of skills that make them suited to different sneaky deeds, like hunkering down in bushes, isolating and executing enemies, and hiding the evidence before anyone notices. There were clearly times that called for Mugen, a samurai who can take out a cluster of enemies in a katana flurry, and times when it was a job for Yuki, a young thief who can lure solo enemies into traps. Other times, using them both in tandem allowed me to achieve what neither could alone, which created some great eureka moments. Queuing up actions for multiple characters, then executing them all at once, I often cleared entire areas of enemies before they had time to react. I usually really enjoyed analyzing heavily defended areas to find out where some combination of skills could spark a domino effect to wipe out an entire garrison. That said, there were times when an area was so heavily guarded that it became frustrating instead of fun. On one of the later missions, I ran into a castle gate that defied every angle and strategy I threw at it for the better part of 3 hours. Lessons learned earlier in the game seemed to not apply, and no arrangement of coordination and skill combos allowed me to make headway. I eventually resorted to cheesy exploitation tactics that probably weren't the intended solution. These difficulty spikes were few, but their memory really stuck with me. And the fiddly, irritating camera controls certainly didn't help. I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of the story, though. Shadow Tactics spins a tale of honor, family, duty, betrayal, and redemption in Japan's Edo period. Each of the main protagonists is ably voiced and has a complex and interesting personality that evolves over the course of the story. Mugen's character arc was particularly impactful and emotionally satisfying.
Yes, Lord Noboru. We will return triumphant.
But even the supporting characters had clear, logical motivations and consistently believable dialogue. Overall, developer Mimimi has put together one of the most punishing and clever top-down stealth games I've ever skulked through. For more on Shadows, Tactics, Blades, and Shoguns, stick with IGN.